Who's been talking about it?
Everybody's been talking about how does Beth get her hair so big?
Well, the key is, hold off on showering if you can. Shower your body, but maybe not your hair. I did go for a bit of a run earlier. Kind of helps I guess I just kind of fluff it up and fluff it around. No. That'll do. I ran into the mall.
Thank you for coming out to see me, Los Angeles, my home. Since my special came out, I've been touring, and I went to Utah for the first time. Some fans of Utah or of the special? Answer now. No, if you watch the special, you know I've actually been to Utah. I did go camping in Zion. It was the summer everyone was disappearing, and I thought, let's give it a whirl, But this was my first time performing in Utah. And I went down, I landed in Salt Lake City. I went to the rental car counter, and they said, Miss Stelling, you've been upgraded. And I thought, wow, the road is off to a great start. To what? And they said, a minivan. I said, I'll take that because it's very funny. But I don't need that. And this is not helping your reputation, Salt Lake City. A minivan? Look, I'm the last person to get to your town and throw your stereotypes in your face, but in that part of the country, they're known for the kids and the wives and the kids from all the wives. So I do feel like with a minivan, they started it. Technically, dudes started that, the multiple wives thing, which I'll never understand. Multiple wives. You guys are always complaining about the one. What are you gonna do with multiple? If we're pitching stuff out, and it feels like we are, I'm thinking we do multiple husbands. Yeah, 3 to 4 husbands per wife. And that would equal 1 husband. I'll go back. I'll start the religion. Quit begging me. I'm sure they're drawing up the paperwork for my return as we speak. A strip mall in the suburbs of Salt Lake City. They're dying to have me back. Obviously, it would be fun to start a religion. Just make up stuff like the guys did in the Bible. When I'm picturing disciples, they're the cool dudes. They're absolutely the most popular. And I imagine they're hanging in a cave in a long, flowy robes at a wooden table. And there's a bunch of cups of water, but Jesus zip, zap, zopped it into wine. And then maybe 1 IPA for Matthew. He's basic. And they're riffing, they're getting crazy. They're just coming up with stuff. They're like, if your wife cheats on you, we stone her. And everybody's thinking, Jesus. And Jesus is like, put it in. Yeah, put that in. And then another one of them gets brave and he's like, yeah, and if you're Christian, you can't eat shellfish. And everyone's like, Luke, just because your face puffs up when you eat an oyster doesn't mean we all have to suffer. And then Luke shouts, he's like, I stoned your wife for you, John! And Jesus is like, everybody gets one. Okay. Everybody gets one. The Bible, the original boys' Christmas list. All right, I'm done. All right, I go down to my stall, A16. I'm Ava's preferred. And that's something that's accessible to anybody with an email and an internet connection. I climb into my minivan, and I'm going to take a photo of myself in it to commemorate my very first minivan. And it won't be my last. It's a superior vehicle. I don't know if you've driven a Chrysler Town and Country recently, but it absolutely rips. The handling is so smooth and the pickup is insane. So I'm going to take a photo of me with all the empty seats behind me. And that's the exact moment I realized I was wearing a shirt, my favorite little crop top, and it says, Abortion Yacht Club. I thought this might have had something to do with the old upgrade. The woman, the Avis representative, saw me walking up and just looked me up and down and said, I guess we're saving seats for the spirits, Miss Stelling. She wanted me to look back in the rearview mirror and see all the missing souls. Which is assuming a lot about me. That I could fill a minivan with my abortions. I'm not gonna say how many, but we could have fit in a Fiat, okay? She didn't even ask if I wanted car seats. Rude. Like many comedians today, or like many female comedians, I did recently freeze my eggs. Thank you so much, hold the applause. There is a future of female comedy, don't you worry. Yeah, it's on ice. I'm not totally sold on the egg freezing. It sort of feels like it might be a scam. It's in the realm of timeshares. I'm thinking, if they're mine, why do I gotta pay to see them again, you know? I went in for my consultation with the doctor, and he said, I see here on your paperwork, Miss Stelling, that you are a comedian. Which will never not be silly to write, I think. Just on official documentation, I write my name and my address, I write like this, and then occupation comes up, and I pick up a red crayon and switch grips to this, and I'm like, comedian. I go off the paper onto the clipboard. It's like, I see here that you are a comedian. I want you to understand the preservation process is extremely intense, and you might want to take a little time away from the stand-up comedies. I was like, it's singular. Stand-up comedy. He was like, I understand. What I'm saying is, you're going to be extremely hormonal, and you might not want to have a microphone in your mouth. I was like, it's not in my mouth, it's in front of my mouth. This is the guy sucking my eggs out. He wasn't wrong. I was extremely emotional. I did reach out to my ex through email, and we met on a street corner. We shared a single kiss. I feel like I was doing very good with my boundaries, actually, up until that point. And then they make you get on birth control, which I told the gentleman. He's a doctor. I said, I don't need to get on that. I'm very regular. He's like, we have to get you on a schedule. I was like, well, I know the schedule. Give me a date. I'll tell you when it's coming. He said, you have to start on birth control pills. So I flipped his car and started taking the pills. I got on his schedule. And then you have to do shots, sometimes 3 shots, injections a night. I'm just like, who qualified me to do this? I'm just injecting myself with drugs. I went to medical school for like an hour on Zoom with a woman named Trina. All of a sudden, I'm just injecting myself with drugs. You start with 2, and they're called protagonists. I didn't read all the paperwork, but normally, during a regular menstrual cycle, you would just shoot out 1 egg. Some people call it release. I'm a shooter. But you would typically shoot out 1 egg. But these protagonists, when you put them in your body, they're telling your body, like, let's be heroes. Let's make the most eggs that have ever been made. And then you just get chock full of eggs. You're overproduced. You're like 2 huge grapefruits in here, and you can't just chock full of egg. You can't play field hockey for a couple weeks. And then you come in with that third shot. It's like an antagonist, and it tells your body, but never release them. This is actually a Pixar movie that I'm pitching soon, but the point is, I would do these injections at night in my kitchen in front of a fan. Like a, oh, no, not one of you. I'm not like the Louis C.K. of medical injections. Like, look at it! You look at me! It was like a tower fan, you know. Honestly, I think my reasoning was like, if I pass out from the needle, it will be in front of this fan, and I'll eventually wake up because I'll be so dry, I'll just be like, like, for air. I think it goes without saying, I live alone. I have to set up a Rube Goldberg in my house so I don't die. I'm like, I leave the faucet running, which fills up the cup, which knocks over the domino, which turns on the fan. It's like, just find somebody to love you. There was a lot of paperwork involved in the egg freezing. Like, what happens to the eggies if I die? And I wrote, to the highest bidder, you know. And that bounced back. They said it has to be a human with a social security. I was like, fine. So I wrote my sister, Megan, my more responsible sister. Nobody tell Hannah. And then I called her with the great news. I asked her, I mean, I'd already done it, but I asked her. I said, do you want my eggs if I die? And she said, sure. I was like, I'm already a great mom. I found a sitter for when I die. And she had follow-up questions. She said, do you want me to use them? I was like, okay, I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, why go through all that for nothing? Go ahead, knock yourself up, you know? Go nuts. Have your husband go nuts. And then she said, well, how many? And then I thought, I feel perfectly healthy, and it's starting to feel like you want my eggs pretty bad. But I was all emotional from the birth control, so I just said, I don't know, I guess let's do 2. I've always wanted to have kids with my brother-in-law, I just never wanted to fuck him. He's a good dad. Hard to find a good dad. Easy to find jizz. Jizz. Yeah, jizz is everywhere. It's all over your seats. I'm kidding, but we don't know. I did find a good dad, actually, at a 4th of July party last summer, and we've been making fuck ever since. No, I love him. We're dating. I'm in love with him. I should have said a single dad. I didn't home wreck on Independence Day. Just see him at the grill with his wife, like, freedom. That being said, I've now met her, and she's so lovely, and I could absolutely take her. I mean, she's strong, but pound per pound, she's fucked. I found myself attracted to him because he's hot. And I grew more attracted to him because he is such a great dad. He's really, really great with his kids. He doesn't call watching them, babysitting them. The bar is pretty low. I feel things like this are probably being said less about single moms. You know, I feel like not as many people are saying, like, she's so hot. She's, like, really good with her own kids. She's super busy, really frazzled. She's got a lot on her plate, and the possibility of adding to that is really turning me on. But he is a good dad. He lets me put all my trash in his pockets. He puts me up on his shoulders. We're laying down, he's facing me. You get it. At the time I met him, I was like 7 months clean and sober from men, and it was a time in my life where I was just emotionally bereft. I was like romantically paralyzed. You know how you've been there when you just like can't imagine what could possibly turn you on? Just nothing from like here down. And then I saw him, and it was like it felt like a Disney wind was like blowing me towards him, you know? And I don't know, because I've actually been diagnosed with a broken picker. Like I'm really bad at picking men. So I don't know if the universe is like sick of me and they're just like, he's over there, you dummy. Because in the past, that feeling has just been like another alcoholic, and I'm like, you know? I don't know why I like alcoholics. If it was, I like the competition, I think. No, but that's not the case here. If it were, I feel like our song would have to be Firework, but like Katy Perry lyrics. It's like, do you ever feel like a paper bag wrapped around a beer in your boyfriend's hand? That's like every relationship I've been in previously. So when I got back out into the wild and I found him, I knew I had to be like very careful and I had ground rules set for myself, like they must have income and nobody under the age of 34, you know? I had been dating people around the age of 30 just because I love going to weddings. And I realized divorce is more my speed. When you date younger, you think it will like breathe new life into you, you know, and give you energy, but it made me feel like a geriatric dog, you know. When like the family gets a puppy, it can go like two ways. Like the old dog is like, I can keep up, you know. Or they just crawl towards the grave like I'm training my replacement. Yeah. We'd be at these weddings, and these guys I dated had this like puppy energy, you know, like let's dance, like let's do shots, let's do cocaine. I'm just like this old dog that's just like just like digging around on the dance floor trying to get comfortable. You know when a dog digs on carpet, you're just like, why you digging, bud? It's not gonna move. It's not gonna get better. But I had met the paper bag guy on the apps. I only used the apps once, and they harmed me. Obviously, I know you can find someone special on dating apps. For me personally, I don't care what you look like on your best day or what fish you caught. What I need to see are photos of your sheets and towels. And ideally, a photo of your bathroom hand soap situation. Yeah. What do you got going on in there? Is it like a bar that's been withered to a sliver? You're like you're like sawing at your fingertips? Is it just like a bar that has like 3 gray lines in it and that looks like it's been aged for stage? Did you spring for a hand pump? Is it full of gel or did you water it down? I'm too old to get to your house and climb in your bed and feel sand at the bottom of it. Or like a single pebble. How did that even get in here? On what part of your body did this hitch a ride? I was climbing into a man's bed once, and I laid my head to rest atop one of his deeply upsetting pillows. I'll never look again. Have you ever taken a peek inside of a man's, looked in the pillowcase? It looks like a topographical map of the arid parts of the U.S. It's like varying degrees of darkness to epicenter. I was like laying my head to rest. I slid my hand underneath the pillow, and then I pulled out just a single cashew. Just one nut, the softest of nuts. And look, I love a snacker, but cashew? Far too healthy. It's disgusting. Things did not work out with that guy. He categorized granola as dessert. And I absolutely cannot have that. I love sugar. I love sugar. I like to charge up right before bed. Just so I have like the energy to dream, you know? That guy was so concerned with my sugar intake. He also didn't like that I drank LaCroix. He said it was like, because it would make me burp, and he felt like that was unhealthy, and I was like, bye! But before that, he said, I'm really worried about your sugar intake. I'm worried that you're gonna get diabetes. And I said, eyes on your own paper, okay? Of all the addictions a comedian could have, I'm pretty sure sugar's the least of our worries. Like, yes, I've taken it to great lengths. Do you guys remember when crispy M&Ms popped on the scene? Holy shit. I mean, I quickly escalated from single to king size bag. I remember one Friday night in Chicago, I was taking a king size bag to the Dome. To the point where I vomited. Now, I didn't have to pull the trigger or anything. It was my body healing itself. It was just like, you're welcome, ma'am. Are you okay? You know when you're vomiting and your body shakes a bit because it believes it's been poisoned? Just like... So yeah, I've had a little dental work done. I have one implant on it's all in the back. The front ones are fine, it's the back. I have like 5 or 6 crowns. I'm a queen. Comics we're an intense people. You know, a lot of us are playing whack-a-mole with our addictions. If you bop out sugar, porn pops up, and then you bop out porn, and you're an alcoholic again. And you're just like, I hate this game. I was debating telling that joke, but not that one, the next one, but I'll do it. I was dating a comic just because I refused to be happy. And we had a bit of a cinnamon roll incident. That's well documented in my HBO special, but just to glaze over it for those who don't know, we went to eat. We finished the meal, it was a brunch, and then I ordered a cinnamon roll to go, just to feel safe. And he said, I don't think you need that cinnamon roll. And I was like, I don't think I need you. I mean, I didn't say that right away. I gave him the silent treatment because my mom taught me that. And then I did try to break up with him. And we're intense. And so when I tried to break up with him, he said, if you break up with me, I don't want to live anymore. So that bought him some time. And then I was on Facebook recently, tooling around. Full disclosure, that's how I communicate with my field hockey team over here. And confirmed. I did find out that guy, tragically, is still alive. And his profile says in a relationship, so I guess he'd off himself for just about anybody. Don't turn on me. I do feel like it is untenable when you're out on the streets to rely on a stranger for orgasm. I feel for so many out there. It's like sitting in the hottest kitchen imaginable in front of an oscillating fan, and you're just like, oh, here it comes. It's gonna feel so good. Okay, it's actually over. Yeah, I don't have time for that to come back, so I'm gonna head back to mine where I do have AC. Thank you so much. If sex were an amusement park, I do feel like people with penises have a fast pass to the orgasm. Kind of like, that was fast, let's do it again, this means nothing. And all the rides I want to go on have like a very clear 35-minute wait. And I wait patiently and play little games in my head. Like, don't look at that photo of his family. Like, helps me savor the ups and downs. I do think if, metaphorically, I think we're sort of handed a full glass of wine at adolescence that represents our capacity to love, and life is like a roller coaster, and you're just like, and then by the time you're in your late 30s, you just have like a single drop left. You're like, I think this is for me. So I'm ready to be a stepmom. Anyways, you guys have been absolutely wonderful. I really can't thank you enough for coming out to see me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you. Love you. Love everybody. Thank you. Have a good night.